Hello, fictional. Welcome to the What If Essay. Today we are gonna see what if Issei went on a date with Raynare. If you end up liking this video, please consider subscribe, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Issei's Pav. Hey Issei, why do you look so down? Mitsuda asked as he looked worried for me. I turned to Mitsuda and gave him a confused look, which made our other friend speak up. Yeah, Mitsuda has a point. Issei, you do look down. Is everything okay? Motohama asked. What do you guys mean? I'm fine. I said as they look at me worried, but knowing me I probably don't even know. Well, you don't look fine, you look like you're depressed. But I got an idea, how about after school we meet up at my house? I got this new edition of Boku no Pico Volume 2. Mitsuda screamed, making everyone look at us in disgust. Can't really blame them. I don't understand myself why I'm a pervert. I thought as I stand up from my seat. I'm not interested in that. But thanks for the offer, I guess. But I'll catch you guys later. I said as I begin to walk towards to the door, making everyone's eyes widen. Why are they surprised? All I did was decline an offer. I then made my way to the school gate where I sighed and began to make my way home. Time skip. Issei's Pav. There's nothing in life that makes it interesting. War, is there any strays nearby? I asked in a monotone voice as I stared at the water under the bridge. Sadly there isn't. Okay, well, might as well go home then. I said as I grabbed my bag and began to walk away until I heard someone shout at me. Wait. Yelled. I turn around to see a girl who looks half my height. She had nice silky black hair, along with magenta eyes to complement her hair. Can I help you? I asked as completely turn around to face her. Watch out, Issei, she's a fallen angel. Gotcha. I was wondering, is your name Issei Hyoudou? She asked with a blush on her face. I look at her with an eyebrow raised. Why does she want to know my name? Yes, that is me. But you know it's not polite to ask someone for their name before giving them yours. I said as I threw my bag over my shoulder, making her confused for a couple of seconds. Oh sorry, where are my manners today? She said as she bonked herself on the head while sticking her tongue out. I don't get it, why is he acting like this? I thought he would be different. From the reports, they said he would be a pervert, but they probably made a mistake. She thought my name is Yuma Amano. Nice to meet you. Yuma said with excitement in her voice. Why is she excited? We only exchanged names. I thought as I gave her a fake smile. Okay Yuma-san, what can I help you with? I asked, getting back to the main topic, making her smile. Well, a couple of days ago, me and my friends were talking and I saw you walking and I was staring. They noticed that I was and made me come ask you something. Yuma said with another blush on her face. What did they want you to ask? I asked, making her blush even more. Well, they wanted me to ask you out on a date. Yuma said with her face being completely red, making her look like a tomato, which made me smile. Wait, why am I smiling? And here you are asking me out. I said with an actual smile, making her calm down a bit. So will you? She asked, making me nod. Really, thank you. Yuma said as she hugged me while jumping. She's probably faking this, but I don't care, I just want to be with her. I thought as I smiled again. Okay, then I'll pick you up Sunday 13:25. Sound good? I asked, making her nod. Okay, well, I have to go now, I'll see you soon Yuma-san. I said as I begin to walk away. I don't understand why I have to do this. But I guess it will be fun to kill him. Yuma thought as she walked in the opposite direction of Issei. Time skip. Third person's Pav. Issei was waiting near the water fountain at the entrance of the mall on his phone until he was approached by a woman in weird clothing with a bat-like ears. She handed Issei a piece of paper that had a weird symbol on it. It would be confusing to most people, but Issei, well, let's just say that he knew what it meant. The Gremory family. What do they want? Issei whispered. After looking at the paper for a couple of seconds, he concluded that the paper was a summoning paper. Issei, that fallen angel is nearby. Okay, thanks War. I still don't understand how you act differently around her. Why is she special? Why is Zero special? He got you there, darling. Hey Zero. Hello Issei. I see that you and War were having a conversation about this fallen angel. But War does have a point. What makes her special? Well, I don't know myself. That's why I'm going on this date. As Issei was having a conversation with the two heaven and demonic dragons, he didn't notice that someone was approaching him. The person that was approaching him was wearing a skirt with a black t-shirt with black heels. As the person reached Issei and saw that he had his eyes closed, they gently poked him in the arm. Issei's Pav. Hey Issei, she's here. Okay, thanks for telling me. I'll speak to you guys later. As I opened my eyes, I saw that Yuma was in front of me poking me, which tickled. Hey Yuma-san. I said as I quickly hid the paper into my back pocket so she doesn't notice. Are you ready for our date? I asked, making her nod with a smile. Alright, let's go. I said as we walked into the mall. Time skip. Issei's Pav. During our date I got Yuma a necklace that had a black wing that resembles a fallen angel and a black and white dragon wing. I know that it sounds cliché, but it resembles the both of us. We had a fun time, but the fun soon came to an end. We were currently in the park at the water fountain watching the sunset while we were sitting on the fountain. I wish this moment would last forever. I thought, hey Issei, can you do me a fav, can you cut the act Yuma? I said, making Yuma confused. I know that you're a fallen angel. You can stop pretending. I said, making Yuma smirk evilly. So you know why I'm here then? Yuma said, making me nod. She then transforms into her actual body and into revealing clothes, but before she could say anything, I stand up and walk in front of her. Before you kill me, can you just do me 2 favors for me? I asked, making her confused, but her curiosity made her nod. Well, they are. Can you please listen to me and tell me your actual name? I said, making laugh sadistically, but she stops when she looked at me. You're serious? Yuma asked. I gave her nod sigh. Well, my name is Raynare. There, I did your favor, now hurry up with the other one so I can kill you. Yuma, no, Raynare said, making me nod. I was born with depression my whole life and I never found anything interesting, but when I started school, I put on an act and made people think I was a pervert, but I'm not. But one day I gave up. I never found anything in my life that made it interesting, so I gave up. I tried to end my life, which failed. My dragons ended up knocking me unconscious and made me stop. Ever since then I tried to at least find something interesting but never did. That is until I met you. I said, making Raynare's sadistic smile and bored face turn into a blush and a sad face. Why am I blushing? Why am I sad? I don't feel bad for him, that's his fault. But why do I feel like this? My heart is beating faster each time I look into his eyes. Raynare thought, making her listen even more. When I met you on the bridge I knew you were a fallen angel. But I also knew why you were there. When we went on this date I thought it would be a waste of time, but I was wrong. Just spending time with you made me forget about my depression. I said, making Raynare's eyes a little watery. Now you know. So Raynare, I have just one more favor. I said, making Raynare nod slowly. I took a deep breath and let it out. I want you to kill me. I said, making not just her eyes wide, but war and zeros. What? Raynare screamed. Please Raynare. I can't, my dragons would just knock me unconscious. Please, Raynare. I said as she nodded slowly again and formed a light spear and threw it at me, making me spit out blood and making me fall. Raynare quickly runs to me and gets on her knees and holds my head and looks me in the eyes. Thanks Raynare, now, I can finally be in peace. I said, but you know I never told you how I feel about you. I said, making her eyes widen. Raynare, I love you. You dummy, you're not supposed to tell me. I was. Raynare said, making me smile at her. I know, I just wanted to. I said, hey Issei, just do me one favor. Raynare said, what is it? I said as I try to hold on. Kiss me. Raynare said, making me smile. I nod and we slowly brought our faces together. Although I couldn't feel it, I felt happy that I gave her my first kiss. But I knew that I would see her when it was her time to. We soon separated from the kiss and stared at each other. I soon smiled at Raynare, which made her start to cry. I slowly brought my hand to her face and put it on her cheek, but it soon fell. I died. Where am I? Oh, that's right, Raynare killed me. Wait, she killed me? As I didn't know what was going on, I then remembered what happened during that time. When I did, I started to smile. She loves me. Giggles. She's such a crybaby. I thought as I remember what happened when I told her. I wonder if I'm actually dead. I doubted. 0. War. When I said their names, 2 giant dragons appear in front of me. Finally, you're up. What took you so long, you son of a bee? Darling, shut up. As War was about to scream, 0 hit him on the head, making him stop. Wait, what's going on? I asked in confusion, making both dragons go quiet. What's going 0, War? This? You're a devil. When they told me that I was a devil I wasn't surprised. I mean, I'm the wielder of both the heavenly and demonic dragons. When you're the wielder of powerful beings you got to work your butt off and study. As I was just staring them in the eyes I just shrugged. Issei, you don't seem surprised. That's because I'm not 0. I knew that I'm a devil. I said, making both dragons tilt their heads. How did you know? So you guys taught me about the supernatural and the famous families of each race and ext. And don't you guys remember that paper that I was given? It had the Gremory symbol on it, so I knew that I was going to be reincarnated when I died. I said, making both dragons nod. So what are you going to do now that you're a devil? Well, I'm just going to do what every other devil does. Oh, and I'm going to go look for Raynare. I said with a smile and a little blush that both dragons noticed. You love her, don't you? I do. But you know that you guys can't be together. You understand that, don't you? I can't. I mean, I understand that it's taboo, but I mean, look at you two. You guys are 2 different dragons and not just any dragons. You guys are the heavenly and demonic dragons. You guys are not supposed to be together because of what you represent. But you guys love each other, don't you? I said, making them both look at each other with wide eyes. We do. Nothing stopped you two from loving each other, so what's stopping me from loving Raynare? You make a good point, Issei. I know I do. Now I need to get ready for school, so excuse me. Time skip. Issei's pav. As I was walking down the street to school and thinking about Raynare, I heard someone yelp in pain. I quickly get out of my thoughts and turned around to where the noise came from. When I did, I was met with a young teenage girl in what seems like a nun outfit, lying down on her but rubbing her head. It seems she fell. I slowly walk up to her and gave her my hand. Hey miss, are you okay? I asked as she slowly accepted my hand. Yes, thank you. My name is Asia Argento, what's your name? Asia asked with a small blush on her face. My name is Issei Hyoudou. Nice to meet you. I said, making Asia smile with a blush. Nice to meet you too, Hyoudou-san. Asia said, Issei. You can call me Issei. I said, making her nod at my request. So what are you doing here, Asia? I asked, trying to start a conversation. Well, I was looking for the church in this town but I got lost. Asia said in an embarrassed tone, making me smile at her embarrassed expression. Well, I could take you there if you want. I asked, making Asia nod. Time skip. Third person's pav. After taking Asia to the church, Issei quickly made his way to school, which he almost failed in doing. He was almost late just by 30 seconds. Issei never liked being late, but he never liked being on time either. So when he got there, everyone was surprised, but he shooed it off. As the day went on as normal, towards the end is where it started to bother Issei. Ever since Issei went near that church, he felt a presence that he thought he would never feel in a lifetime again. It was Raynare's. He now knows where she is, so all he needs to do is confront her again. But it wouldn't be that easy. Issei's pav. Hey Issei, there's a devil nearby. Yeah, I know, I sense it too. As I was looking out the window minding my own business, I heard screaming. I turned around and saw that all the girls in the class were screaming for one reason. Hyoudou. The Prince Charming of the school was walking towards me. What does he want? I thought as I snap out of my thoughts when he called my name. Are you Issei Hyoudou? Kiba asked with a smile. I nodded him, making him speak. Ria's Gremory would like to speak with you. Could you please follow me? Kiba asked with his normal smile. I nodded him while standing up and grabbing my bag and began walking with him. When we were walking down the halls, all the girls were screaming at Kiba for dumb reasons, such as walking with me, which didn't make sense. After walking to the outside of the school, we reach another building. It looks abandoned, but I guess it isn't. Both me and Kiba both walk into the building, and when we do, we reach two big twin doors which I assume leads to the main room. Kiba then knocks on the door. Waiting for a couple of seconds, we hear a faint come in. Hearing that, Kiba opens the door and lets me in first before him. When I entered, I was met with a scent that I was familiar with. Devils. When I looked around, I saw that there were only 3 other people in the room besides me and Kiba. There was a redhead in the center of the room sitting at the desk while going through some papers, so I assume that she is the president of whatever this is. Sensing my presence, as she looks up at me and smiles at me. Ah, you must be Issei Hyoudou, am I correct? The redhead asked, making me nod in response. Well Issei, do you believe in the supernatural? She asked. What do you guys think I should do? I asked. You should murder them all. You should be honest. You know I'll choose Zero's answer. Sorry, war next time. I said, earning a grunt from him. Yes. I believe in the supernatural. And that is why I'm here. You made me a devil and is here to explain everything. Am I right? I said, making everyone's eyes widen. They were struck that I knew about this. How did you know? The Redeed asked. Well, when you have 2 dragons in you, you tend to do a lot of training and studying. And there is no need for introductions, I already know who you all are. I said, making their eyes widen even more. First off, Kaneko Taoju, Rook of Ria's Gremory. Second, Kiba Hyoudou, Knight of Ria's Gremory. Third, Akeno Himejima, Queen of Ria's Gremory. And lastly, Ria's Gremory, King of this peerage and the sister of the current Lucifer Satan, Surzich's Lucifer. I said as I smiled as I made them all pale. They barely have anything on me while I have almost everything on them. How do why you know this? Ria's asked, trying to stay calm, but failed. Well, I want to keep it a secret for now. But I got somewhere, I got a Socia. I said as I turned around and began to walk out of the room. That went smoothly. Time skip. Issei's pav. After meeting with Asia out of nowhere, we decided to hang out for a bit before something happened. Right now I was currently having a standoff with a fallen angel. I know that I could kill him in one hit, but that would damage the area, and I had to take in the fact that Asia might get hurt, so it was a done deal, so I ended up giving her to the fallen angel, but I had a plan. Fine, I'll give her to you. Just let me talk to her one last time. I said, making the male fallen angel nod with a grunt. Both me and Asia turned around. I began to whisper into her ear. Listen Asia, don't worry, I'm going to save you. The reason I can't right now is because I could get someone hurt, I hope you understand. I asked, making her nod. Alright, now I'm going to the church tonight with some friends of mine to help, so don't worry. I said as we turned around. Alright, you can take her. I said as the fallen angel took Asia and disappeared. Now time to convince them to help. Time skip. Absolutely not. I am not going to risk my peerage's safety for a fallen. Ria shouted, making me angry. I wanted to do this on my own, but I couldn't risk them finding out about Zero and war. This sucks. Well then you should release me. Slap. Everyone's eyes widened when they saw that Riaz had slapped me. I mean, you couldn't blame her. Why are you acting so dumb? Why would I do that? You're the most important piece in my peerage. I can't risk losing you along with the others. Ria shouted, making me even more pissed than I was. Well then, good luck on finding others that can take my place. I shouted as I stormed off while slamming the door. Time skip. I went back home to change into some black clothing, so it would be better not to get caught. After leaving home and making my way to the church, I saw that Kiba and Kaneko were already there waiting for me. Probably Riaz. I thought as I walked past them, ignoring them. When I reached the door, I pulled back my right hand and I punched the door, knocking them both down, scaring the fallen angels inside and scaring Kiba and Kaneko at my monster strength. When the doors fell, everything was quiet until there was screaming. My eyes went from the normal brown that they were and went to bloodshot red with black slits. Any time skip. Basement. After dealing with the fallen angels upstairs, we went to the basement and we were greeted with a horrific sight. It was Asia's lifeless body hanging there along with someone I didn't expect. Raynare standing next to Asia. Issei, grab the girl, we'll take care of them. Kiba shouted, making me nod. When I ran up to grab Asia's body, I looked at Raynare and spoke loud enough just for her to hear. Meet me up there. I said as I grabbed Asia and ran past Raynare. Upstairs. As I sat Asia's lifeless body down on one of the benches, I heard a whoosh sound, so I assumed was Raynare. When I turned around, I saw Raynare staring at me with tears flowing from her eyes down onto her cheeks. I say. Raynare choked out, making me smile at her. Hey crybaby. I said with a smile as Raynare rushed at me and embraced me with a tight hug, which I accepted. When she hugged me, it was tight, signaling that she didn't ever plan on letting go, which made me smile even more. I gently rubbed Raynare's head as she began to cry into my shirt, making it drenched with her tears. Th thought you were dead. She shouted, making me laugh a bit. Well, I'm not. Maybe it wasn't my time. I joked, making her laugh a bit before she kissed me. I did the same, it felt nice. I couldn't explain what made this kiss different from the first one. Maybe it was from the blood that was in my mouth. I don't know. But I know that I wanted this moment to last, but I couldn't. As we pull away from the kiss, we both look into each other's eyes and smile. I missed you, Issei. I missed you too, Raynare. But Raynare, why did you do it? I asked, making Raynare flinch at my question. I didn't want to. I was forced. Raynare said, making me mad. Whoever forced you to do this is going to die. Who did? I asked in calm tone, making Raynare calm down a bit. Kakabiel. Raynare said as she hugged me again tighter than the last one. Alright. He's dead. I said, making Raynare push me away. What do you mean? Raynare asked in a scared tone. I'm going to kill him. He forced you to do something, so that gives me more of a reason. I said in a calm tone, but Issei, he's leader class. You can't take him on. Raynare shouted, trying to change my mind. Don't worry, Raynare, I can beat him. After all, I am the wielder of the heavenly and demonic dragons. I said, making Raynare's eyes widen. She was about to speak before I cut her off. But first, how can I bring Asia back to life? I asked as Raynare handed me 2 silver rings. These are her sacred gears, just put them back in her and reincarnate her, then she would be brought back to life. Raynare said with a smile, making me do the same thing. So Raynare, what do we do now? I asked. Well, we could always go back to your place, Raynare said in a seductive voice, making me blush. Wanna move in? I asked, catching her off guard with a blush. Yes. Raynare said in a low voice, thinking I didn't hear her. Alright, after this is all over, let's get your things and go. I said with a smile, making Raynare nod. Before we could speak again, I sensed magic being fired towards us. I quickly jumped onto Raynare to avoid the magic shot. When we avoided, we both quickly got up and Raynare got behind me. When it went past us, I looked to where it was fired. It was Riaz and Akeno. Riaz, what the hell? I screamed, making Riaz raise an eyebrow. Why did you protect that fallen angel? Riaz asked. Before I could speak, Kiba and Kaneko come from the basement. Both of them moved towards Riaz and Akeno, not trying to get involved. I'm not going to ask again, Issei. Why did you protect her? Riaz asked, gathering some power of destruction in her hand, making me nervous. I look at Raynare, who was just looked at me for some kind of answer. I slowly took a deep breath and I thought. Or, Zero, what do I do? I asked, making both dragons look at me. Well, Issei, it seems that you're in the same situation that me and Zero was in. Yeah, it seems so. So what do I do? Well, Both me and War explained our relationship to everyone, but that ended up us fighting the heavenly and demonic dragon gods. Yeah, after we killed them both we got married. So basically tell them my relationship with Raynare and hope that they don't try to kill her. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thanks. As I quickly got out of my thoughts I saw that Riaz was on the brink of kill first, ask questions later I look at Raynare one more time and then look back to Riaz. I took in another deep breath and let it all out. I love her. I love her. Ahahaha. That's so cute. I quickly felt my face heat up at the realization of what I just said. As I look at Raynare I saw that she was blushing like mad. Her face was so red that it was able to be on par with Ria's hair. As I smiled at her expression I looked back to everyone else who had a confused expression. Issei. Is this some kind of joke? Riaz asked with a confused look that soon turned into a look of disgust when she heard my response. No. Everyone soon joined in on Ria's expression, well except Akeno. She had a look of jealousy and she had a blush on her face, which made me confused, but I quickly forgot it. Disgusting. How can you love that thing, Riaz yelled, which pissed me off when I heard her call Raynare that thing. I felt like I wanted to kill her. Hearing what she said my eyes quickly began to be covered by my bangs and I started to lose it, but Raynare soon calmed me down. I say. Raynare asked, making sure that I was okay. I just stayed in the position that I was in. Raynare, back up, please. I said as I started to release some of my power, making War go a little insane. Riaz, take that back. I said with venom in my voice, making everyone in the room flinch at my voice. Why should I? Fallen angels are nothing more than things. Objects, nothing more. Riaz said, making me even madder. Nothing more? Then what about devils? Fallen angels are the same as devils. I said, making Riaz mad, but everyone else not so much. I mean, it's one thing to disrespect a full-blooded devil, while to a reincarnate devil not really. Did you make fun of my race? Riaz asked in a surprised borderline killer tone. Yes, I did. I said, making Riaz flare her aura. How dare you? First, you defend this fallen, the one that killed you. Then you disrespect my race. I may be your master, but that still doesn't mean that I can't punish you. Riaz yelled, making me laugh sadistically. You? Punish me? I don't think you can even lay a hand on me. Let alone punish me. I said with a sadistic smile, making everyone in the room flinch, even Raynare. Issei, don't do this. If you attack her then you'll be making a direct threat to her brother. Raynare shouted, making me turn to her. I gave her a gentle smile and turned back to Riaz, who had a smug smirk. It seems that the fallen knows something. Riaz said, trying to provoke me, which didn't work. I'm feeling generous, so I think I'll do this. Take back what you said, Riaz, and I'll apologize for everything or I'll just become a stray. I said, making everyone's eyes widen, even Raynare. You're not going to become a stray. If you do you're just going to die, just like that fallen. Riaz said with another smug smirk which set me off. Alright. It seems you made your choice. I said as I ran at Riaz and punched her in the gut, making her spit out blood, making everyone scared at my speed. After I punched Riaz, her peerage that was unresponsive soon came back and got in defensive position and was about to attack me, but soon was stopped when I released my power. My power forced them all onto the ground and panting. I won't kill you, Riaz, if you do this one favor of me. Revive Asia. Do that and I won't kill you. I said, making Riaz stand up weakly while holding her stomach. She nods at what I said in fear, making me smile. I soon turned around to Raynare and smiled. Well, it seems that I'm a stray, let's go, Raynare. I said as I reached out my hand to her, which she grabbed with a blush, which made me smile. Life is going to be interesting. With her in my life, it will be more than interesting. I thought as I took us to my room. I'm Skip. It was quiet between us, which made it awkward for us, but she broke the silence. You know that I love you, right? Raynare said with a blush, making me nod. Well, I don't know how to explain it, but I soon cut Raynare off with a kiss. I knew what she was talking about. We both soon separated from the kiss and we stared into each other's eyes. We soon kissed each other again, but this time it was different. She used her tongue. I soon did the same. It was weird at first, weren't at the same pace, but we soon matched each other's pace. We didn't stop, we kept going, but during the passionate kiss, I felt Raynare press her body up against mine. I felt her breasts on my chest and felt her hands moving to my back, which made blush even more than her. I then started to follow her lead. I moved my hands down her body, then stopped around her butt, which made her yelp in the kiss. When my hands landed there I started to squeeze it, making her moan in the kiss. She then started to moan more and more into the kiss, which made her blush more and more. She then started to move me to my bed, which she succeeded in doing. When we reached to my bed she softly pushed me onto the bed. By the time we fell onto the bed we separated from the kiss to get air. We both looked into each other's eyes and blushed. Raynare then said something which blew my mind and made her and me blush even more. Take me. Raynare said, making my eyes widen. Take my virginity. She said. I want to be yours. I want you to be mine. I love you. Raynare said, making me smile. I love you too, Raynare. And yes, I'll take your virginity. After telling Raynare that I would take her virginity made us blush, but we didn't care. Raynare then starts to smile at me, and then she starts to unbutton my shirt. When she finished, she started to kiss my neck, making me moan a little. She soon stopped when she felt something poke her in the side. When she moved her hand to where she was being poked, she grabbed it, and when she did, I let out a moan, making Raynare looking at me in confusion until she noticed why. You seem excited, do you want me that bad? Raynare said in a joking tone, making me look away in embarrassment, which made her smile. Raynare then moves to my ear and starts to nibble on it, then stops. Hey, Issei, I want you to put it in. Raynare whispers, sending chills down my spine. You sure? I ask, making Raynare nod in embarrassment. I then get on top of Raynare and start to take her shirt off. When her shirt came off, I saw her bra and her breasts, which jiggled when I took her shirt off. I then moved to her pants and took them off. When I did, I saw her black panties. Black? I asked, making Raynare blush in embarrassment like I did. It's my favorite color. She replied, making me smile. Well, it goes well with your hair and your eyes. I said with a smile, making her blush and turn away. When Raynare looked away, I went back to what I was doing. Taking her panties off. When I took them off, I was met with the sight of Raynare's beep. I blushed at the sight. I started to move closer to it, and when I got close to it, I grabbed Raynare's hips and moved my head towards her beep. When my head reached her beep, I started to lick it, making Raynare moan in pleasure. As she was moaning, her body started to twitch. I didn't pay any mind to it as I just kept on going. I then inserted my tongue into her beep, making her moan even more. I say, stop, I can't. I can't take I. Raynare pleaded in pleasure. I didn't listen to her as I know that was just a signal to keep on going. As I kept on licking the inside of Raynare's beep, I felt something splash in my face. As I felt something splash in my face, I looked up to Raynare, who was moaning in pleasure and breathing heavily. So I guess she came. I thought as I wiped my face and smiled. I then moved away from Raynare's beep and moved to her face. So how was it? Coming for the first time? I asked, making Raynare blush brighter than Ria's hair. Shut up. Raynare shouted. I then moved closer to her face as she did the same. Our faces connected and we began to kiss each other with tongues. As we finished kissing, we moved away from each other's faces and we stared at each other. Her face was full of love and lust, while mine was filled with love and worry. I say, is there something wrong? Raynare asked as she notices my look. Raynare, are you okay with this? I mean, we are from two different races. What if they don't approve of our relationship? I asked in a worried tone, making Raynare smile at me. Then we fight. We fight our race. We fight for our love. Raynare said as she caressed my cheek, making me smile. As she was caressing my cheek, I started to line myself up with her. Are you ready, Raynare? I asked. I am. Raynare replied, okay, tell me if it's too much. I said as I started to push into Raynare, making her scream in pain. Bae, are you okay? I asked as I stopped, making her breathe heavily. I'm fine. I just need some time. Raynare replied as she took a deep breath. She then nodded, signaling me to go, which I do. As I started to thrust into Raynare, she moaned in pleasure loudly. Issei, harder. Fuck me. Faster, I want you to fuck me faster. Raynare screamed. As Raynare moaned each time, I moved deeper into her. And each time I did, she would get tighter, which made me moan slightly. As I kept thrusting in Raynare, she kept moaning, but I soon stopped, which she started to breathe heavily. She then slowly looked towards me, but before her eyes could land on me, they widened. I moved her leg onto my shoulder and started to thrust into her again, but this time it was harder and faster, which made her moan louder. As I kept thrusting into her, I felt something getting ready to come. Raynare, I'm going to cum. I yelled as she looked at me with lustful eyes. Cum inside me. I want your semen inside me. Raynare yelled as she grabbed onto my body. As Raynare grabbed onto my body, I soon felt something come, so I assumed that I was finished. Raynare, I'm coming. I said, making Raynare smile. Yes, cum inside me. Raynare yelled as I came into her, making her moan loudly in pleasure. I love you, Issei. Raynare screamed as she let go off my body and fell onto the bed. I soon followed her lead and fell onto the bed tired. As I landed on the bed, Raynare got on top of me and laid there. I soon wrapped my arms around her and began to stroke her hair. I love you, Issei. Raynare said as she dozed off to sleep, making me smile. I love you too, Raynare. As me and Raynare laid there, I heard Zero's voice. Yes, Zero. Is there something you need? Issei, we need to talk. Okay, what do you want to talk about? It's about your race. What do you mean? Well, because you're half dragon, you have half of war and my aspects of our abilities and traits. What are you trying to say? I'm saying that you're not just half dragon, half devil. You're also half angel. I'm an angel. Part, but still yes. So what does that mean? I'm gonna go to heaven or something? Well, unless they come to you, then no. But I have been keeping my power suppressed so they wouldn't sense you. Well gee. I say you should kill them all. Maybe but no. Hey Issei? As I stopped talking to Warren Zero, I looked towards Raynare who was laying on my chest. Yeah. I asked making her look at me. Is it true? That you tried to do suicide? She asked making me nod. Then can you promise me something? She asked anything for you. I said making her take in a deep breath. I want you to forget about it. Forget about everything. Forget about that devil. I just want you to be happy. I want our relationship to work out. I want you to know that even with your depression I would still love you. Raynare said making me smile. I just stare into her purple eyes as she does the same. We soon start to move our heads closer and we kissed one last time before we fell asleep. Ria's pav. But you? Kiba asked as he stared at me along with everyone else. As I thought about Issei I felt tears going down my face. I don't know why, but I always had this feeling of a sense of importance when I saw him. As I wiped my tears, I turned around to my peerage and gave them a response. Listen, everyone, tomorrow we are going to put this behind us and treat Issei differently than this. We are going to treat him like we would treat any one of you. Got it? I asked making everyone nod. Okay good. Now, everyone, you can go home now we have a long day tomorrow. I said making everyone nod and then they left. Issei's pav. Knock knock knock. Issei dear it's time to get up. I began to open my eyes a little and when I did I was met with a naked Raynare laying on my chest. Before I could understand what was going, my door was suddenly opened up revealing my mother. My mother looks at me and then looks at my chest and she started to blush super red that could rival Ria's hair. Sorry for interrupting. She screamed as she closed the door which made a loud bang which frightened Raynare waking her up instantly and making blush. Who's there? She screamed making me giggle a bit making her look down to me. Hey good morning. I said in a calming tone making her calm down. Issei what's going on? Well my mom walked in on us sleeping. When Raynare heard me she suddenly blushed and looked away. Hey Raynare do you think you could get off of me? I have to get ready for school. Raynare looked at me before giving me a peck on the lips before she got off. When she got off, I went straight to my closet and get my school uniform and got changed. When I finished changing I quickly got confused. Hey Raynare what are you going to do? I asked making her turn to me. Oh, I'm just going to stay here. I nod, but I soon got confused. Do you want to come to school with me? I asked making her get off the bed and then she walked up to me still naked and kissed me on the lips. When we parted away from each other's lips she spoke. Does that answer your question? I gave her a smile and a nod. Just then a flash of purple light started to glow off her and when the light toned down Raynare was standing in front of me with a kuho outfit. When I stared at her I noticed that she was still in her mature form. Is there something wrong? She asked making me shake my head, but apparently, that wasn't enough. Issei, are you thinking about me wearing this when we do it next time? I swear she is going to be the death of me. Maybe, I don't know. Let's go get breakfast while it's still warm. She gave me a nod. We began to make our way downstairs. When we got there we were met with my mother whispering to my father probably about Raynare. Good morning. Was all I said when I pulled out the chair next to me for Raynare to sit in. Then I sat down and we began to eat breakfast. Hey mom, can you please forget what you saw? Both me and Raynare blushed at what I was talking about, but mom complied and gave me a nervous nod. So Issei, are you going to introduce us? I look at dad and then look back Raynare and nod sure. I took a deep breath. Mom, dad this is Yumo Mano, my girlfriend. Both my parents widened their eyes. Gee girlfriend they shouted making me nod yes, she is my girlfriend. They just stared at me then to Raynare, then back at me. Did you do it? I don't think that's my place unless Raynare wants to say it. Both my parents looked to Raynare making her blush in embarrassment. She only gave them a quick nod which made my dad faint and left my mom blushing crazy as so how long? I just stared at my mom then I smiled one day. Was all I said which made her faint as well. I just smiled a little at the sight of my parents laying on the ground with blushes on their faces. So Raynare, how do you feel about my parents? Raynare just blushed madly before she hit me on the shoulder. Why would you tell them? I thought that was just our secret. She shouted while hitting me on the shoulder which made me giggle. I know I'm sorry. I gave her a kiss on her forehead which made her blush again and it made her stop. But I still love you. Hey Issei can we have fun before school? I look at Raynare like she was crazy. The only response I got was a hug from behind and whisper in my ear, do you want to continue where we left off last night? I quickly blush and my mind starts to go crazy. I like her, she's a keeper. Darling, I don't think that was appropriate. Everything with you is never appropriate. I can't think. Issei I start to feel a chill go down my spine which makes Raynare giggle. Issei do you want to continue? I just tried to do my best and try to get out of her hug, but it was no use. She had a strong grip on me and she was planning on not letting go anytime soon. And no. I shouted in embarrassment making Raynare giggle. She licks my ear, then she lets go of me and I quickly stand up and turn around and face Raynare. What the hell? Raynare just stares at me before she laughs. You should have seen your face. It was so cute. Raynare started to laugh uncontrollably, which made me look at her in confusion. Don't worry, Issei, it's not like I actually meant it. I just stand there looking at her before she caught me off guard. You don't. Raynare just nods at me. Issei, I don't want to rush our relationship. Yeah, we had sex last night, but that was just because we were too caught up in the moment. I'm not saying that I don't want to do it again with you, I'm just saying that I want to take it slow. This is my first relationship, I don't want to screw it up. Raynare explained, making me nod slowly with a blush. Now come on, we got to get to school. And just like that, we left. Time skip. Raynare's pav. Both me and Issei were super nervous about school. I don't know why I was nervous, I shouldn't be. Maybe it was because of the students or how they would treat Issei, was that it? I just couldn't keep my mind off of Issei's depression. He said he had it his whole life, so did that mean his parents didn't know about it? He even said that he tried to commit suicide, how did his parents not know? Be cool, Raynare, it's not like Issei is going to do it again. After all, he has me in his life now. As we reached the school, I noticed that Issei was starting to fidget, so I intertwined my fingers with his, and when I did, he calmed down. When we walked through the school gates, I noticed that all the students were staring at me and Issei, which made me smile because I heard other girls saying, what? How does the pervert have a girlfriend who is as beautiful as the great queens? Don't get me wrong, I was mad that they called him a pervert, but he was still my boyfriend. The guys, they were just the opposite. They just complained about how Issei was with someone as pretty as me, which made me somewhat happy, but I didn't care about what they were saying. When we reached the middle of the schoolyard, me and Issei were approached by a devil with short dark blue hair and glasses. When I turned to Issei, I saw that he was getting an angry look and he was starting to squeeze my hand a bit tighter, which made me worry. Issei, when I called his name, he turned to me with a small smile. If things get out of control, I want you to run. Got it? I gave him a nod, which made him turn back to the devil. Issei, Hyoudou, who is this student you brought with you? Issei looked at me, then he looked back. She is a transfer student and she is my girlfriend. I quickly blushed at what Issei said. I tried my best not to do anything that would get us into a fight, so I just tried to block out everything. But I couldn't. Issei, Hyoudou, I'm not blind, I know that is a fallen angel. Why did you bring her with you? And why did you abandon your master last night? She asked in stern tone, sending chills down Issei's spine, but he kept calm. I brought her here with me because I want to stay close with her. And second, I abandoned that red-headed bitch because if she is going to disrespect my girlfriend or any other beings from other races. Issei began to let out some of his power, which made everyone in our vicinity start to have trouble breathing. As everyone was choking, Issei just gave the devil a cold-hearted glare. If I ever hear that you or anyone from your race disrespect my girlfriend again, I will destroy your entire race. And just like that, Issei stopped letting his power flow, allowing everyone to stand up and gather their breathing. Issei reaches out his hand to me, in which I grab, and when I did, he helped me stand up and we began to walk to class. When we passed the devil, I start to whisper to him, Issei. He quickly flashed me a smile which made me blush. Don't worry. I promise you that I won't let them tear us apart. I don't care what they do, even if I have to go to war with the devils, I will. I start to blush at what he said. He cares this much about me, he would even go to war for me. I just smile at Issei and I start to kiss him on the lips, making his eyes widen, but he just settled into the kiss. Issei's pav. As me and Raynare stopped kissing, we just smiled at each other before we walked into the school building and make our way to class. Knock knock knock. When I knocked, I heard the teacher say, come in, and when I heard, I opened the door. I let Raynare enter the room first before I do, and when I enter, I looked at the teacher and the other students. Ah, welcome back, Issei, it's been a while. I looked at the teacher before I looked away. The teacher just sighed to herself before she turned to Raynare. Ah, so you must be the new transfer student. Introduce yourself. Oh, and Issei, you can go sit where you sat before. I just shook my head at the teacher, making her give me a confused look. I'm sorry, but he wants me to say something for him, is that okay? The teacher just nods at Raynare's question. Well, first off, I'm Yuma Amano, I am transferring from Tokyo. I don't really like things besides one thing. The only thing that I like is Issei, and I dislike perverts and judgmental people. Also, Issei is my boyfriend. Raynare shouted with a smile, making everyone's eyes widen, even the teacher. And lastly, this is a serious matter, so listen. Issei is suffering from depression, so please mind what you say to him and how you say it. And boys. All the boys in the started to listen closely. Don't bother asking me out and don't mess with me and Issei. And with that, she looks to the teacher. Also, if you don't mind, could I sit with Issei? The teacher nodded and me and Raynare start making our way to our seats. So, let me get this straight. You only have a day left before you can't block your powers. That is correct. So what do I do when your power gives out? Just do what you normally do. I don't think I'm ever going to understand why Zero did this, but I'm just not going to question it. Excuse me, is Issei Hyoudou here? I slowly look up from my work and when I did I felt my rage built up. It was Kiba and maybe because of that Raynare looked up too. Yes, he is. Issei, you may go, you won't be marked skipping. I look at the teacher and nodded my head nervously. As I began to stand up from my seat, Raynare does the same, making the teacher speak up. Amano-san, you don't need to go with Issei, he'll be fine. I looked to Raynare, she just gave me a gentle smile. With all due respect, but I think it would be best if I went with Issei. The teacher just sighed and gave Raynare a nod. I looked back to Kiba, who had a look of disgust and disappointment. Well then, follow me then. And with that, me and Raynare both followed Kiba carefully. While we were walking I felt Raynare grab my hand, which made me look to her. Everything is going to be okay. Just know that I'll be with you. I gave her a smile which resulted in her giving me a kiss on the forehead. When she pulled away from my forehead I blushed slightly, making her giggle slightly. Kiba looked at us with a stern look, making us sigh and continue walking. As we reached the building we entered one of the rooms that had the biggest door. We then stopped in front of the door and Kiba went up to the door and knocked on it. Knock knock. Ria's Pav. That must be Kiba. Come in. When Kiba heard, he opened the door and when he did, I felt my heart race. Why do I feel like this? Ever since I reincarnated Issei, I could never get him out of my mind. Is this love? It can't be. But ever since I saw him protect that fallen I felt a knife being plunged into my heart. I brought them. I look up from my desk and there I saw him. Issei Hyoudou. Issei's Pav. I started to squeeze Raynare's hand a bit, making her whisper into my ear, it's okay. I'm here. Welcome back Issei. I look at Riaz and narrow my eyes, making her sigh. What do you want? My voice didn't hold any emotion besides anger, which was directed to everyone else in the room. Riaz flinches at my response and quickly answers, the reason I called for you was that we seem to have gotten off on the wrong feet and everyone along with me would like to apologize for our rudeness and the outburst that we had at the church. I look at Riaz with hatred in my eyes, which made her flinch again, so let me get this straight. You called me here to apologize, is that all? Riaz quickly nodded with a slight smile on her face. I looked at Raynare, who looked back at me and shrugged. Sigh. Alright, I guess I accept your apology. Can I go now? Riaz's smile soon went to a frown. No you cannot. Riaz said, making me look at her with an annoyed look. And why is that? Riaz quickly raised her hand and formed a ball of destruction, because you need to take your punishment. Riaz shouted with a happy smile, making me widen my eyes. I don't care, I'm leaving. Both me and Raynare turned around and I was about to move my hand to the door handle, but I was soon stopped by Kaneko. Kaneko, move. Kaneko just stared at me while eating her cookie. Issei senpai, I don't want to hurt you, but you can't leave. I stared at Kaneko before I turned to Riaz, who had a smile. You're not leaving until you get your punishment, Issei. I then started to get angry. And why do I need to have punishment? Riaz quickly tilted her head. What do you mean, Issei? You did something bad, of course. So it's only appropriate for a master to punish her servants. What did I do? I shouted out in anger, making everyone flinch at my words. You hit your master. She responded, making my eyes widen. Okay, yeah, I did hit you, but that doesn't mean that I deserve to get punished for it. I shouted, making Akeno speak up. Actually, Issei, it does. You forgot that she was the sister of Lucifer. She has all the rights to punish you. She could have also went and told him what you did and you would have been dead right on the spot. But she didn't. And you did attack her, which means she could have labeled you as a stray, but she didn't. So I don't care if she's the sister of Lucifer or if she labeled me as a stray, I would still kill her for disrespecting my girlfriend. Everyone's eyes widened, but Akeno's eyes just drifted away. I don't care what you do, Riaz, but from now on. Riaz started to tense up at what was coming. I'm no longer in your peerage. I then moved back to the door and gave Kaneko a death stare, which made her move her body in fear. I then proceeded to let Raynare walk through the door first before I went, which made her blush a little. Time skip. Hey Issei. I looked at Raynare with a smile. Yeah, Raynare quickly blushed at the nickname that I gave her, and War and Zero were just laughing. Why did you do it? Why did I do it? I began to scratch the back of my head. Well, because I love you. I mean, ever since I had depression I could never love anyone besides my parents, but I'm glad that I had depression. Wanna know why? Raynare quickly looks to me. Because of it I was able to fall in love with you. Raynare's eyes began to get watery, which just made me laugh. But then Raynare pulls me into a tight hug, which made me gain a gentle smile. I love you too. Raynare then kissed me on the lips and we began to walk home after that. Hey, Raynare, can I tell you something? Raynare turns to me with a smile which made me blush. Anything, darling. I then began to feel my body shake in fear of what might come once I say these words. I'm an angel. Time skip. So let me get this straight, Raynare said, making me listen. The holy dragon that's inside you said that today is the day that her powers give out. I nodded what she was saying, making her sigh, and because of this, the angels might send someone to come collect you? Raynare asked, making me nod once more. Sigh, that is troublesome. I quickly looked to my feet in shame, making Raynare confused. Are you mad at me for not telling you? I asked, making Raynare giggle. Mad? Why would I be? You kept this to yourself because you thought I would look at you differently, it's understandable. Heck, if I was in your position I would have done the same thing. But I am a little mad though for you not telling me, but I guess that's just normal in a relationship. I pick my head up and look at Raynare with my eyes widen. But Issei, Raynare began, making me look at her in confusion. Because of this, you are going to have to take your punishment. I felt my eyes widen in fear. Raynare then stands up and begins to walk to me. When she reached me she bent down onto her knees. Kiss me. My eyes widen in confusion. Did I hear her correctly? I thought. What? I asked. I said kiss me. That's your punishment after all. I felt my face quickly heat up. I just stared at Raynare before I ended up doing what she said. Mini time skip. Third person POV. Currently, everyone besides Issei's mother was sitting at the table in silence waiting for dinner to be served. As Issei's mother came to the table with the food she sat down and began to attempt to make conversation. So Issei, do you mind introducing us again? Issei then looks to Raynare and then back to his parents. Well mom, dad, this here is Yuma Amano, my girlfriend. Issei's parents had the same reaction, but they were able to stay calm. So you're my son's girlfriend, huh? Issei's mother asked as she turned to Raynare, who stiffened up. You can't really blame her. Just because she's stronger than both of his parents doesn't mean that she isn't afraid of what she'll do. Yes ma'am. Raynare replied, making Issei's mother speak again. How long have you been seeing my son? Raynare quickly responded in a positive tone. 1 week. Raynare said with a smile, which made me do the same. Alright. Final question, and this determines the outcome. Raynare quickly tenses up as I to do the same. Have you had sex with my son? The table was dead quiet, no one spoke, nor did anything make any noise, but what confirmed Issei's parents' suspicions was the very bright blush on not just Issei's face, but the blush on Raynare's face too. Both Issei's parent had a blush too, but that wasn't important. You what? Issei's father shouted in shock, making both Issei and Raynare stand up and hug each other. Dad, calm down. Issei shouted, making his mother speak. Calm down, you just had sex with a girl that you barely know and you both started dating a week ago. Mom, Dad, please don't overreact. Issei's parents were now staring Issei and Raynare down. How can you tell us to not overreact? You just had sex. You lost your virginity. That's the one thing in life you can't get back. Raynare, who was hugging Issei, was quiet, but through all the screaming no one noticed that she was crying. As Issei was arguing with his parents, Raynare quickly got out of the hug and made a quick dash to the door and ran out. Issei's POV. I just stared at my parents with my eyes widen. Before they could speak, I made a dash to the door and I was ignoring the screams of my parents and just tried to focus on finding Raynare. Mini time skip. Raynare? I couldn't find her anywhere. I felt like I was going to pass out. I've been running non-stop trying to find Raynare, but I failed. That was until I heard sniffling. I started to follow where the sniffles were coming from. As the sniffles got louder, I started to feel different magical power from more than different people. I feel Raynare's power, but I feel fuck. I started to run in the direction of the power, and when I did I felt my world crumble. It was Riaz and her peerage casting magic at Raynare, who was on the ground. This is what you get for taking him. I loved him. What could he possibly see in you? You're nothing more than a fallen angel. Raynare? Oh no. Zero, you need to get ready, he's tapping into my power. I quickly rushed to Raynare and shot a hellfire shot towards Riaz to stall them. I slowly put Raynare's head in my hand and put it on my knee. Hey Ray, hearing my words, Raynare looks at me, but struggling to move her head. Hey da, I quickly cut Raynare off. This is my fault. I had tears going down my face, and with each tear that came down my cheek fell onto Raynare's face, making her smile weakly. Hey, don't cry. It's my fault. I look at Raynare with my eyes widen. How? She just flashed me a quick smile because I ran out like a scared cat. Haha, I'm sorry. Raynare said jokingly, making me laugh, but before I could say anything I felt a large amount of magical energy coming towards me. I quickly picked Raynare up and jumped to a rooftop. I looked to where the magic came from, and there was a man who looks identical to Riaz standing there with an angered face. He was wearing an armor that looked like it was used for combat. It had spiked at the left and the right, and he was in front of Riaz and her peerage. I looked at Raynare and began to push some of my magic into her, which healed her at a fast rate. Hey Ray, stay here, okay? I'll take care of this. I gave Raynare a passionate kiss which made Riaz glare at Raynare with anger. Raynare just stayed in my arms, kissing back. As we separated, I set her down gently and began to walk to the edge. I see, don't fight him. That's her brother. I looked at Raynare and gave her a smile with my eyes closed. I don't care. If anyone hurts the one I love then they die. I don't care who they are. I then jumped down from the roof and faced the man who was apparently Ria's older brother. So that's him. Lucifer. I thought as I began to stare at him. So what do I owe this pleasure Lucifer-sama? So what do I owe this pleasure Lucifer-sama? Issei's pav. Issei Hyoudou, I presume. I gave him a nod which made his eyes filled with red aura. So, why did you do it? Would you hit my sister? He shouted as he flared his aura which made me narrow my eyes. You have a wife, don't you? He stares at me with anger, but he gives me an angered nod which made me speak again, and you'll do anything to keep her safe. You'll even protect her with your life, even if it costs you your freedom. What are you getting at? What does that have to do with anything? I gave him a simply angered grin. Your so-called sister attacked my girlfriend out of anger and jealousy. And when me and her were having dinner with my parents, she rushed out of my house and got jumped by that slut of a sister and peerage. I shouted, making Surzich's widen his eyes and get even angrier. How dare you call my sister a slut? You don't talk about your master like that. Scoff master. Master. Master, she can't even be considered a daughter from the Gremory family, which is supposed to be one of the few houses that treat their servants equally. But she doesn't even do that. She attacked my girlfriend out jealousy and hate. She even tried to give me punishment for defending my girlfriend. At that very moment, I wasn't aware that I was starting to cry, but I soon noticed when I dropped my head and looked at the ground. Do you know what it's like to be different? Do you know what it's like to be depressed? Do you know what it's like to see the one and only person that you fell in love with suffer? Surzich's was now taken back by more words, and as each time a tear would fall his power would settle, but not mine. You never had to go through the things that I had to go through. All because you have what you wanted. I then started to flare more and more of war's power which began to shook the ground. 0. Give me a minute. If it wasn't for your sister, I could be having dinner with the only people I loved. Mom, Dad and Raynare. But your sister just had to ruin all of it. And with that I lost it. I began to raise my head and look at Surzich's along with Ria's and her peerage. They all flinched when I stared at them. I then felt my eyes burn a bit before I felt my whole body go up in flames. It's too late. 0. He did it. Demonic dragon balance breaker. A deep and menacing voice boomed out from out of nowhere, startling everyone. Everyone then began to look around for the voice until they felt my power risen. I was dressed in a black suit of armor that had taken the form of a black humanoid dragon that had red orbs going through the chest and my hands and knees. Now you will feel the pain that I have felt. Surzich's. I then rushed at Ria's, but I was soon stopped by Surzich's when shot a ball of destruction towards me. Don't do this, Issei. I want to apologize for my sister's actions and for mine as well, so don't do this. He shouted as I began to stand up. Apologize. Can an apology fix a broken heart? Can it fix my hatred? Everyone was quiet, which made me even madder. That's what I thought. I then began to summon a giant hellfire that was the size of Great Red, or what could be the size of him. This is all my hatred for Uria's Gremory. I'll see you in the afterlife if you even go there. And with just a total 19 words, I threw all my hatred away. Or so I thought. Before I could comprehend what was happening, I felt all my anger, along with the armor, vanish and I was tackled to the ground. When I opened my eyes, I saw Raynare was hugging me tightly with scratches all over her body and her clothes were torn up. But I wasn't even mad about that. I wasn't even mad anymore. All I felt was happiness. You can stop. Please just stop. Please, this isn't you. I just want my boyfriend back. I was now blushing at what she was saying. All I could do at this moment was just a smile. Before I said anything I came up with an idea along with an evil smirk. Knock knock. Raynare just kept crying until she heard those words, and when she responded I assumed she was just messing with me. Who's there? She asked Issei. I replied, I Issei who? I then felt my smirk turn into a smile. I see you. Raynare then looks up from my chest and just stares at me with a smile. Missed him before I could finish. Raynare pulled me into a deep and passionate kiss, which made my eyes widen, but they soon calmed down, and I just let her have her moment. As we separated from the kiss, I tried to separate from the tight hug that we were in, but she wouldn't let go, which made me smile. Hey, Raynare, do you think you could let go for a bit? Raynare just dug her face into my chest and shook her head, making me sigh. I then turned to Surzich's, and I didn't even bother making eye contact with Ria. Surzich's, I want to apologize for my actions. I'm deeply sorry for the way I acted. Please forgive me. I then attempted to bow, but I failed to do so because of Raynare. Surzich's then just shakes his head. No need to apologize. If anything, I should be apologizing. I then just shake my head. If anything, your sister is the one that needs to apologize, not just to me, but to Raynare also. I then looked to Ria's, who had a face of jealousy which I ignored. I would expect that apology by tomorrow. And with that, me and Raynare went home. And with that, Raynare and I went home. Issei's pav. Raynare. At the call of her name, Raynare looks at me. I'm sorry you had to see me like that. I was just so angry that they hurt you, and before I could finish what I was saying, Raynare cut me off. It's okay, Issei, I understand how you feel. If I saw you go through something like that, I would do the same thing you did, or well, not the same thing, but you know what I mean. I flashed Raynare. I smile. I know you would. And just like that, we went silent. As we walked home, so many thoughts were going through my head, but the main thought was, what am I going to tell my parents about Raynare? I quickly shake my head and get rid of the thought. Hey Issei, one question. I looked to Raynare, who was blushing. What is it? I asked. My legs hurt, so I was wondering if you could pick me up. I then grew a smirk. Your order is my command, princess. I then picked Raynare up bridal style and kept on walking. Once I picked her up, she instantly put her head in my chest and fell asleep, which made me smile. But that smile soon faded away. I don't think I can forgive them, but they're my parents, so I'm going to have to at some point. Might as well do it in the morning. I'm Skip. I don't care, Zero, this is a major issue. But War, can't you see that he's happy? He's finally has found someone who he loves and has the same feelings as him. Don't they ever stop arguing? I can't even sleep. Hey, Issei, are you up? Raynare. Why is she still up? I thought she was passed out. I wonder what would happen if I don't respond to her. Issei. Just wait, just wait. Sigh, I guess you're asleep. Well, this will be less embarrassing if you heard. The next thing I know is Raynare starts to play with my hair and starts to giggle. From the first moment I saw you, I swear I could feel something special coming from you. It wasn't your sacred gears, nor was it your immense power, it was your depression. And no, I don't mean it in a cruel way, but ever since we met, I have felt less of your depression, and that makes me happy. And it may not have seemed like it, but I did feel a connection towards you. I'm glad that we were able to be together, and not to sound slutty, Issei, but I love it when we have sex. Not because of the pleasure, it's because I can feel like I'm with you, and it shows that we can trust each other even more. I swear to God, even as a fallen angel, I will do right by you and stay pure to you. I love you, Issei. And as of that moment, I felt tears running across my face. Promise. Raynare instantly squeaked and jumped. Issei quickly hugged Raynare, which makes her recoil from the pain. I love you too, Raynare, and I promise that I'll do right by you. I said, making her tear up and giggle. Alright, but do you think you can let go of me? I kinda hurt all over. In an instant, I let go of Raynare and rub my head. Sorry. Raynare responds with a nod and pushes me over and begins to lay on my chest. Issei, can you promise me something? Raynare asks as she digs her face further into my chest. I rub Raynare's head. Anything. Raynare grew silent for at least what felt like 2 minutes until she spoke. Can you never rage out like that again? I promise, I won't. I'm Skip. Flames everywhere. Light everywhere. Zero, War. The flames in the left corner began to grow bigger until it manifested into a big dark orange dragon that was covered in scales, while in the right corner where the light was, began to do the same thing, but the dragon that was manifested was comprised of white spiky scales and white horns. You guys wanted to talk to me? Yes, we do. What is it then? Are you guys having a wedding? Issei, this is serious. And you missed the wedding actually. It was before you were born. Oh, bummer. So what is it that you guys need to talk to me about? Issei. You screwed up, okay. If you hadn't been blinded by rage, then Zero wouldn't have needed to use her power to suppress mine. So that means that heaven sensed Zero's power. Yes. We believe that they're going to send Dulio Gesualdo. Michael's Joker. Isn't that a bit overkill? End of the here. So that's it for today's video, guys. Before you go, just like the video and share it with your friends. Bye.